Hello students. Now after completing the concept of potential and potential energy, now we move on to a new concept which is called electrostatic of conductors. Now what does this electrostatic of conductors means? So we have to see the properties of the conductor now, how it will behave in the absence of the field and in the presence of the field. So now there is a situation where we will place a conductor inside the field. So before we place it inside the field, its behavior will change before and after placing them in the field. Now let us see the intrinsic behavior of the conductor. Intrinsic behavior matlab their normal behavior, their characteristic in the absence of the electric field. Now suppose I consider a conductor. Now suppose this is a conductor, any conducting material. Now there is a term which is called mobile charge carrier. Mobile charge carrier. Now when we will see the chapter 3, that is the current electricity, mobile charge carriers are the carrier which are responsible for electricity. Now we know that in conductors, the mobile charge carrier are the free electrons. We know the motion of the electron gives an electric current. So whenever electron comes into motion, it moves from one place to another place, it gives rise to the electricity. So for a conductor, electrons are the mobile charge carrier. Similarly, when we will study about the electrolytic cells, so inside the cell, it is the motion of the positive and negative ion. One plate will move towards one positive ion will move towards one plate and other negative ion will move to the another plate. So one plate becomes positively charged, other plate becomes negatively charged. So in electrolytic cells, the positive and negative charge are positive and negative ions are called mobile charge carrier. Similarly, when we will study about the semiconductors, it is electron and holes which are called as mobile charge carrier. So conductors have a mobile charge carrier. Conductor consists of mobile charge carrier, and we know that the conductors are the material which are good conductor of heat and electricity. So we divide this material into three types: conductor, semiconductors and insulator, depending on the mobile charge carrier also. Otherwise, in lower classes we say material which are good conductor of heat and electricity are called conductors, which are not a good conductor of heat and electricity are called as insulator. So conductor, any conducting material, consists of the mobile charge carrier, means the charge which are responsible for electricity. And we will see if this conductor is a metallic conductor. So generally all metals are a good conductor of heat and electricity. So let us deal only with the metals. So we call it a metallic conductor. So metallic conductor have a mobile charge carrier which are electrons, and in fact we call it a free electron. Now let us see what is the intrinsic characteristic of a metallic conductor. So if I consider this as a metallic conductor, I will say it is made up of number of atoms. Every conductor or metallic conductor or every substance is made up of atoms. Now if we talk about the atoms, atom consists of positively charged nucleus and the electrons revolving around the atoms. So this is the general nature of an atoms. All the positive charge are concentrated at the center, which we call a nucleus, or nucleus consists of proton and neutron, and all the electrons are revolving around this nucleus. Now in the metallic conductors there are the electrons which are in the outermost orbit. Let us say this electron is in the innermost orbit. Then there are electrons which are in the outermost orbit, and we call such electron as valence electron. So metallic conductor consists of the valence electron. As we move away from the nucleus, the interaction between the nucleus and the electron keeps on decreasing. That is, the Coulombian force keeps on decreasing because F is inversely proportional to the square of distance. So now if I consider this as a metallic conductor, it is made up of number of atoms. So if I say a metallic conductor consists of atoms. Each atom is made up of positively charged nucleus and the electron revolving around it. This is how we describe a conductor. The electron in the outermost orbits are called valence electron, and this valence electron becomes free for a metal at room temperature or as the temperature rises. Now when this valence electron gets free from its atom, this atom will become a positive ion. So if one electron is gone, this will become plus 1, 2 electron gone, so valency becomes plus 2. This valence electron generally for metal becomes free electron. And when because at room temperature the energy available is called the thermal energy. That is, let us denote it by UT. We have potential energy in this chapter. Now we are introducing a thermal energy. Its formula is 3 by 2 kBT, where Kb is the Boltzmann's constant. So Kb is a Boltzmann constant. Now depending upon the room temperature, let us take it 30 degrees centigrade or 35 degrees centigrade. We will convert it into Kelvin SI unit and we substitute the temperature in Kelvin. Boltzmann constant value we know. When I substitute these values, I get some energy in a joule. So that much energy is available to each atom. Now this is the atom. These are atoms. So every metallic conductor consists of atoms. And now we are seeing an atom. How the atom is, what atom consists of. So atom consists of this nucleus as well as electron. So the electron in outermost orbit is called valence electron. At room temperature, this much energy is available, and this valence electron becomes free from its atoms. Now suppose each atom contribute one electron, or in each atom one electron, which is the valence electron, becomes free. So at that place, that is called the lattice position. Now if this atom valence electron becomes free, it will be called positive ions. So this electron is free. Now due to thermal energy available, this electron keep on moving in a random motion. So now this is one atom, one electron. Another atom, one more electron. Another atom, one more electron. So these are the positive ions. Why? Because their valence electron has become free. And this electron are, now this is positive ion, so one more electron. Taking the valency is 1. So each atom contribute 1 electron at a room temperature. So now what is the behavior of a conductor at room temperature? So I have to remember simply one line. A metallic conductor consists of free electron at room temperature. Now if someone asks why there are the free electrons, so due to thermal energy 3/2 kVT available to each atom or the entire metallic conductor. These free electrons are in the random motion, and when these electrons are in random motion, they leave behind a positive ions. Positive ions are heavier than the electrons. These positive ions remain fixed, and that position is called its lattice position. And at thermal energy, this ion oscillate about its mean position. It perform a simple harmonic motion, and electrons which are in the random motion keep on colliding with that atoms, with the positive ion. So this is the behavior of a conductor at room temperature. So if I want to describe the metallic conductor at room temperature, simply I have to remember that metallic conductor consists of free electrons which are in the random motion and the positive ions which are fixed at their position called lattice position. These positive ions keep on oscillating about its mean position. They are heavier, they will not move. They are fixed at their position which are called as lattice position. And this electron keep on moving in random direction because they possess thermal energy 3/2 kVT, and they keep on colliding with the positive ions which are oscillating about its mean position. So this is the intrinsic behavior of a conductor at room temperature. And also we assume that the electric field, there is no question of electric field. This is the behavior at room temperature. So this is the behavior of a conductor at room temperature when the electric field intensity is 0. Now it may be possible that we will place this conductor in an electric field, but this is the intrinsic behavior, that is in the absence of the electric field, and the behavior of a metallic conductor at room temperature. Now let us move to the properties of conductor. Now there are few properties related to the conductor. The proof of these quantities can be proved later also. Some properties I am writing directly now, then while discussing chapter 3 or when we do the examples of this chapter, we will prove each and every property. So there are few property, for the time being I am writing it directly. Now the first property is electric field is 0 inside the conductor. Now this property we will prove just now only. So first property, you have to remember only the properties. We have a reason for each and every property. You can prove it with the help of the knowledge we have from chapter 1. So number first is electric field is 0 inside the conductor. Now we have seen the intrinsic behavior of a conductor. Now generally we are dealing with the metals. So we have seen the behavior of a conductor or metals, and we know that due to thermal energy the electrons are in random motion. They keep on colliding with the positive ions which are fixed at the lattice position, and they oscillate about its mean position. The ions are oscillating about its mean position. So when they are oscillating, they have their own energy. But because the thermal energy is available, electrons are lighter as compared to ions. So that electron move from one place to another and the path is random. Now what will happen if I keep that conductor inside the electric field? Now let us see that there is an external electric field. So this is an external electric field given to us. Now let us take a conductor in the form of a rectangle. It can be any shape, not necessarily rectangle. Irregular shaped also, it can be like this. Now this is the behavior. Now if I say what is the behavior of this conductor in the absence of the field. Now there is no electric field, E is equal to 0. So I will draw the situation like this. These are the electrons which are in random motion, and there is some positive ions. So for each atom I am taking one valence electron has become free. So the valency of this material or the metal will be 1. They may contribute 2 electrons also if it is copper material, anything. Now this is the behavior. This is due to thermal energy. I place this conductor inside a uniform electric field. Now we know that if I draw this uniform electric field, these are the plus charges, I am drawing the field line, and these are the minus charge. Now as soon as I place this conductor inside the uniform electric field, what will happen? These free electrons which are in random motion, they will become static and they will come on the surface of the conductor. So say if this is one electron, it will be attracted by this positive charge of the field, or it will be repelled by the negative charge. So how the construction will take place? Suppose I take one electron. This electron come on the surface. This electron will come on the surface. Now if this electron comes on the surface, there is a deficiency of electron at the other place or far away from this surface. So that surface becomes positive charge. So electrons which are in the random motion, we call them the free electrons. We call them free electrons. So in this one atom, this is the first orbit, this is the second orbit, this was our one valence electron which has become free. These electrons, the electrons which are still in the orbit of an atom, not all the electrons are free. Only those valence electron will get free at thermal energy which are loosely bound, means the electron which are in the outermost orbit. But if I say this is a positive ion, there are electrons in the innermost orbit. Let this innermost orbit have 2 electrons. Now this electron which are still attached with the ions or the atom, they are called as bound electron. So you see the terminology. This ion consists of bound electron and these electrons are free, so they are in random motion. Now the redistribution of the charge will take place. Redistribution of the charge take place means as soon as I place this conductor inside the field, the redistribution of the charge take place, and one surface start, the surface near this positive charge will become negative. The other surface will have a deficiency of electron. So it is denoted by plus. Now when this redistribution of the charge take place, the electric field is induced. This is the external electric field. Let the external electric field be denoted by E naught. External electric field. Now when the redistribution of the charge take place, now this redistribution take place immediately, but we are taking it step by step. So now inside the conductor, the electric field start building up in the opposite direction. Now why this electric field start building up? So you can say the redistribution of the charges is taking place. The electrons which were initially free, means when there was no electric field, they were in random motion. Now they are not in a random motion, they get redistributed on the surface, and this charges or this electron will be now referred as induced electron, or simply we call this too as the induced charges. It is like charging by induction. So one plate instead I have to create uniform field. So one plate is positively charged. Which plate? We are talking about the application of the Gauss law. This is one positive plate and this is one negative plate. Now if I keep a conductor between these two plates, this positive and negative plate will create a uniform electric field. And we have seen in some illustration that this electric field was equal to sigma upon epsilon naught. Here the electric field intensity of one plate was sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Here it was sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Both the field direction was in the same, so we added it, and outside the plate the field was 0. So this uniform electric field is created with the help of two plate example, and we have now placed a conductor in it. So we are not keeping this conductor in contact with this plate. So we call the redistribution of the charges or this charges as an induced charge. So we have three terminology: free electrons, the bound electron, and now they are the induced charges. So now the electrons which were free come up on the surface. This electric field is denoted by E induced, EIN I am writing. Now this process takes place very fast and it opposes our field, external field. As a result, the external field magnitude keeps on decreasing and induced charge electric field becomes increasing. A stage will come where the induced electric field and the external field are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So if I say what is the total field, both the field cancels each other. So what will happen as this charge redistribution start taking place, there is an induced field and the situation is like this. This surface becomes negatively charged, this surface becomes positively charged, and here what is the situation inside? Our induced field was in this direction. This is EIN I am writing. Our external was E naught. Both are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So in this situation, I am drawing only few lines. This is E induced. External is say along the x-axis. Induced is along the negative x-axis. So if I say what is E, so I can write it E naught plus E induced in vector form. But their magnitudes are equal but in opposite direction. So what will be the resultant electric field intensity? It will be 0. So this is when I place a conductor in a uniform electric field. The first property I have to say is the charges are induced on the surface, or redistribution of the charges take place in such a way that their electric field, which is called as induced electric field, opposes the external electric field, and now the resultant field inside the conductor is 0. This is the symbol for resultant field, and this is the symbol for IN. And these charges which are on the surface are called as induced charging. So this is the difference between the behavior of the conductor or metals in the presence or in the absence of the field. In the absence of the field, that we discussed earlier. This is in the presence of the field. So in the coming chapter we will say the drift of the electron will take place. These electrons are in random motion, but as soon as I place this metal in this field, there is a drift of electron. So electron, suppose I take this electron was free to move in any direction. For the time being it may go in this direction, but as soon as I place it here, there is no substitution, there is no choice for this electron. It has to move opposite to the field. It has to move opposite to the external field. There is no, because there is a force of attraction. So what is the conclusion? Electric field inside the electric field is 0 inside the conductor. And if someone asks you, this is the reason, or you can say the redistribution of the charges take place on the surface in such a way that the induced electric field is opposite to the external field and the resultant field comes out to be zero. Now let us move to the second property. So these are the properties, the theoretical portion. Now what the second property says? First property we have proved. Electrostatic field at the surface of the charged conductor must be normal to the surface. Now suppose the electric field is created. We have an induced electric field on a conductor and it opposes our applied field. This is when we place a conductor inside the field. It is not necessary that always you keep a conductor inside the electric field. It may be possible that we have one one conductor. Now every conductor, as we know, is neutral. It is its intrinsic behavior because it consists of equal number of electrons and proton. But when we do the charging by induction, that is without making any physical contact, if you remember, we brought a charged glass rod near to it. Now what happened? If the glass rod is positive, we have taken this surface as negative. Now this is when the conductor is placed in field, or if some electrons are being taken out from the conductor. Suppose by some process the electrons are being taken out from a conductor, so it becomes positive charge. Now whenever the charges are induced on the surface, these are the charges induced on the surface. Now let us see the electric field, direction of the electric field. So see this direction. If I take this as a surface, let this distance be let this element will be called dl vector. So at each and every point the electric field is normal. So if I take a proper geometrical shape, for easy explanation I took this metallic conductor as a rectangular or square. It may be of any shape. Suppose this is irregular shaped conductor, and if it is placed in external electric field, or if it is being charged by any method, there will be the induced charge on the surface. This surface should be divided into small element. Now suppose this is where I am making the element. So you will see that the electric field intensity will be such that it makes an angle 90 degree. So if your surface is irregular, this line will not be a straight line, but it should be in such a way that if I take a small element of that surface, the field line should be normal, which is clearly visible in the case of a proper geometrical shape. So if the charges induced on this surface is negative, and if I say draw the electric field intensity, so you will draw like this one, negative charge, so it is radially inward. If this surface is positively charged, the field lines are radially outward. Now this is the induced charges. So by first property, electric field inside is zero, and if the redistribution of the charges take place, the electric field at the surface of charged conductor must be normal to the surface. It is a necessary condition. So if you have a irregular shape, the electric field will be irregular like this. Now what will be the shape? That you have to say that divide that element into the small part, and you have to see this angle. If you see this angle, if this surface is divided into small elements, then it will make an angle 90 degrees. So for irregular shape, the field line will not be exactly seen normal. But if you divide the entire surface into the small element, electric field is always normal. Now this is by oral we have seen this by diagram. Now let us assume that the field is not normal. We consider that the field is not normal. That is, we prove it by the theory of contradiction. Now what is theory of contradiction? Now suppose this is positive charge. Now in no situation this field lines can be drawn in upward direction. Why? Because the charge above it will also have a field lines which will be radially downward. So this charge have suppose this is two charges. There is a force of repulsion between them, its field line will be drawn like this, it will be drawn like this. So if field lines means an imaginary line where the charge will is supposed to move if it is allowed to move freely. Now they should move, but they oppose each other. So the resultant field comes out to be 0. So there is no tangential component along the tangent. There is no tangential component. It cannot move. Any charge here will not move to this direction because there are nearby other charges. So what is the possibility left? The only possibility left is 90 degree to the surface. So if the charge move on the surface, then it should have the tangential component. So if I draw this, there are different charges. Now let us assume the field is not 0. So there are two components at this field, at this point. One should be the tangential component and one should be the normal component. Normal means making an angle 90 degree with this. So like this, if your vector is in xy plane, you have two components, one is along x-axis and one is along y-axis. So one is axial component, one is the tangential component. So now if there is a charge at this point, it should have two components, tangential and normal. Now if this charge has a tangential component, it should move in that direction. But because there are other charges distributed on the surface, there is a force of repulsion on both the sides. So in any case, they will not move tangentially. Now if they cannot move tangentially, we have only the one component, that is the normal component to the surface. So electric field is always normal to the surface, which is clearly drawn in this situation. It is easily understood by this diagram. So we say that by the theory of contradiction, if there is tangential component, the charge should move along the tangent of the surface. But the redistribution of the charge is static. Redistribution of the charge is static. This charges remain static on the surface. There is no motion. Do you see any motion? Whether the charge will move along the tangent? No. There is a force of repulsion. They cannot move normal also. They reside on the surface. So if I say there is a redistribution of the charges, this redistribution is static in nature. These charges are static in nature, and because they are static, their field should be normal to the surface. So that is the second property. Third property, there is no net charge at any point inside the conductor, or excess charge must reside on the surface. Now there are two possibilities. One is, when I place this conductor, all the charges reside on the surface. This property means all the charges comes and reside on the surface. Now if you say how we can know they reside in the surface, so let us take a Gaussian surface inside of any shape. Now if I consider any Gaussian surface inside the conductor, clearly there is no charge enclosed in it. So the flux will be equal to 0. The flux is equal to 0. So because no charge is enclosed inside the Gaussian surface. So in order to prove this property, you have to take the help of a Gauss law. Then you have to consider a Gaussian surface. You have to find out the field. The field is radially outward here. Here it is radially inward, but it is not crossing this surface. So if there is the property is, the first property is the electric field inside the conductor is 0. So if the field is 0, there is no source inside the conductor, that is, the charge always reside on the surface. And if you give an excess charge to the conductor, excess charge to a conductor means if I take one electron from this, I am not placing this conductor in the field. Let us say I have one conductor. I remove one electron from it. So if I remove one electron, suppose it has 100 electrons and one electron is removed. So this becomes positively charged body. Now that positive charge will also reside on the surface. So as long as I keep on removing an electron, the body will becomes positively charged, and the static redistribution of the charges will take place on the surface. So whether you place a conductor inside the field or you make a body charged by any method, charging by conduction, friction, anyway, the charges must always reside on the surface so as to satisfy these two conditions. Otherwise, you may assume any Gaussian surface inside the conductor and you will see that no charge is enclosed. Then, the fourth property. Electric potential is constant throughout the volume and have same value as inside on the surface. Now this we have already said. Suppose I take one sphere. The charge uniformly distributed on its surface. The charges are uniformly distributed on its surface. Say the charge is Q. Now if I take a point P which is at a distance R, so the potential for this becomes KQ by R. That is the potential value on the surface. Potential value on the surface matlab work done to move a unit positive charge from infinity to this point. This is the work done. You have to move against the field. That is the concept of a potential. Now if I go inside the conductor, inside no charge is residing. There is no field inside the conductor. So the potential is, the work is done till the surface. The work done inside is zero because the electric field is zero. So total work done is to bring a unit positive charge on the surface, and its value comes out to be KQ by R. Inside the conductor, the work done is zero, that we have already seen in the previous topic. So total work done will be only the work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinite to the surface. So if the potential formula for a sphere is KQ by R, inside anywhere the potential will always remains constant. So electric potential is constant throughout the volume and has same value as inside on surface. So there is no electric field intensity. Also you can say the electric field intensity, the potential was defined as minus integration of E dot dr. So now if the electric field is intensity is zero, the integration of zero should be some constant value. So this we can prove by the formula E is equal to minus dV by dr. Now if there is no field, the integration of the zero will lead to the potential constant value. So you have to remember that the potential is constant throughout the value and its value will be same as inside on the surface. So this is the four properties of a conductor. This is the four properties connected to the conductor. So number one is electric field is zero inside the conductor. Electric field, if it exists, it is always normal to the surface. Charge inside the conductor is zero, and if there is an excess charge, the charge must reside on the surface, and the potential is constant throughout the volume and its value is same on the surface as well as inside the conductor. Now the fifth property is electric field at the surface of the charged conductor is sigma upon epsilon naught. Now we say that the electric field is normal to the surface. Now if there is an electric field which is normal to the surface, it should have some value. So let us consider there is a conductor which have positive charge on its surface. So charge always reside on the surface of a conductor. Now I have to find out its value. Now the field is clearly radially outward and it should be normal. Now since the surface is irregular, the field lines cannot be a straight line. So we have to draw in such a way that if I take a small element, it makes an angle of 90 degree. You have to remember that the field is always normal to the surface. However, we are taking it as a radially outward. I am drawing it as a straight line. It will not be a straight line because the surface is curved, but it should be normal. Now I have to find out its value. Now I can use a Gauss law. Now for a Gauss law, you have to take a Gaussian surface. So let that Gaussian surface be a cylinder having the shape like a pill. So this is like pill box, capsule. It is a pill box or like a capsule. You have to take like a capsule. Now you know the capsule generally have two color. So half of the pill is inside and half of the pill is outside. So we are taking this a small cylinder. Similarly, I have another cylinder. This is a Gaussian surface. So half of the pill box is inside, half of the pill box is outside. Now inside, when we talk about inside, the electric field is 0, Q is 0. So this portion, this cross section will not contribute. Now the only possibility, because the field is normal, this is my E vector. This cross section area is suppose delta S vector. It will also be radially outward. So we know that Gauss law states. So now I am writing directly, I am using the Gauss law. E delta S, the dot is removed because the angle is 0. That is equal to summation Q upon epsilon naught. Now this can be written as E delta S is equal to, this is the surface charge density. Charges always reside on the surface. So sigma into delta S upon epsilon naught. So the area get cancelled. Actually we have to do for a small element, then entire surface is considered. You have to do the integration, but we are considering for a small element. So surface area get cancelled. So you are left with E is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught. Now if sigma is greater than 0, E is radially outward. So n vector, n cap is normal to the surface. It is either radially outward, and if sigma is less than 0, E is radially inward. So radially outward and radially inward. So what is the electric field intensity magnitude? This is the magnitude. This sigma can be positive or negative. So these two properties can be used for this. We have said that the electric field is normal to the surface. So only the contribution to the flux will be from the cross section which is outside the surface. And inside the field is 0 or the charge is 0. So there is no flux contribution. Then we apply the Gauss law and we will prove that the electric field which is normal to the surface has a magnitude of sigma upon epsilon naught, where sigma can be positive or negative. If the charge is positive, sigma is positive. Charge is negative, sigma is negative. Now the next important property is electrostatic shielding. Now what is this electrostatic shielding? Now the general example is that whenever there is a lightning in the sky, it is advisable to sit inside the car. So inside the car, that is a hollow body, or let us say it is a hollow sphere. Now if you are inside the car, let us take this as a car, it is hollow. These are the tires of the car which are insulated. So the car should be insulated from the earth. Earth is a good conductor. Now whenever lightning strikes, what will happen? This lightning which is taking place because of the charge exchange of the charge in the atmosphere. We will see how the lightning take place in the sky. That is, there are the exchange of the charges in the atmosphere, or the atmosphere is ionized. Now when it has to become neutral, so when it strike a metallic car, suppose it take away an electron, then it becomes neutral. Then the surface of the car will becomes positive. That is called as induced charge. So when the lightning strikes, it will take away electron. We are taking an example that an electron is removed from the body of the car. So charges induced will becomes positive. However, inside it, the electric field is 0, the Q is 0. the charge are residing on the surface, so you will remain safe from that electricity. So whenever the lightning take place, instead of a ground, it is advisable to sit inside a body which is hollow, a metallic hollow body. So whenever that lightning strike, that metal will give its free electron, and that body itself becomes charged. Now if I touch the body from outside, then I will get a current. The electron will be removed from me and the current will be produced. So actually what happens when lightning take place, and if you are standing on the ground, that lightning try to remove an electron from it. The motion of the electron take place from our body. We are standing on the earth. Earth is a good conductor. The loop is completed and it results into an accident. But if you are inside a metallic hollow body, there will be a charge which are residing on the surface. There is no field and no charge inside, so you will remain safe. So that is the word shield. Means we will be safe from the accident. It provides us a shield, or you can say a protective layer is formed around us. Now how it is related with this properties. So let us consider a conductor. Let us consider a conductor having some cavity. Now this is called a cavity. Cavity means some mass is removed from our metallic conductor. So like that the word cavity also deal with the teeth. So we have a cavity inside the teeth. That is, a hollow portion is been formed or some mass is removed from it. So we consider one solid conductor having some cavity. Now when I place this conductor in external field, that we have seen property 1, or you say the excess charge is given to it, whatever be the situation, whether you place this conductor, now this conductor has a cavity, there is some hole, some mass is removed from it. Now whether you place it in external electric field or give it excess charge, in any case the charge will always, suppose I keep it in an external field, so the charge will reside on, I keep it in an external field, so charge will reside on the surface. Whatever may be the situation, the electric field and the charge inside the cavity will remain zero. So you can say this, that this conductor protected the cavity. Cavity is hollow. The cavity is hollow. Some mass is removed. There is no charge inside the cavity. Now we will also see a situation where this cavity will have some negative or positive charge. That different property is there. Today we are assuming that the cavity is empty. There is no charge inside. Now this is a conductor. So conductor consists of free electron. So whenever I keep it in an electric field, external electric field, or if I give excess charge, whatever may be the situation on the conductor, the electric field and the charge on the inside, the electric field and the charge inside the conductor will always be zero. That is, the electric field external will not affect us. Like lightning does not affect us if we sit in a car. Similarly, whatever process take place, it will be on the surface. So the electric field is zero inside the conductor. Now if the conductor consists of a cavity, the electric field inside the cavity is zero. It is no charge is there inside the cavity. The charge remains zero. That is, if I say sigma, sigma is also zero. But what will happen? The charges will be induced on the surface of the conductor. V remains constant here. V remains on the surface. The value of the V will be same. So there are different situations. In any case, we are talking about the cavity, and the cavity will have zero field, zero charge, zero surface charge density. So for electrostatic shielding, we can say that whatever be the charge and the field configuration outside, whatever be the situation outside, inside the cavity, the electric field will always remain zero. Now this is called as the electrostatic shielding, and this concept can also be used for the safety purpose of some instrument. So if there is some instrument which is very sensitive to the electric field, it is advisable to keep it inside the hollow sphere or a hollow body like a car, so that it is safe or it is shielded from the field. So when the lightning take place, the redistribution of the charge will take place on the surface. So outside the field, that is radially outward, sigma will be greater than 0, or if it is negatively charged, sigma will be less than 0. In any case, electric field will not be equal to 0. Inside the cavity, field is 0, sigma is 0, potential is constant. Whatever is the potential, this is the surface of a conductor. This is a cavity and this is the surface of a conductor. Only we have this cavity. So what will be the value of the potential? Same as inside the conductor or out on the surface. On the surface, say the value of the potential is V0. So on the surface of a conductor, it is V0. Inside the cavity, it is V0. But the electric field inside the cavity is 0 if it is devoid of any charges. We are not taking charge in cavity. Inside the conductor also E is 0. So if I draw this conductor and there is a cavity, E is 0 here, E is 0 here, E is not equal to 0. So outside the conductor, the field is not 0. Inside the conductor, the field is 0. Inside the cavity, the field is 0. So this is the situation of the electrostatic shielding. So whatever we have this properties of a conductor. So this is what we have, the general characteristic, that if I consider any conductor, the electric field is 0, rho is 0, sigma is 0, that is this property. And if there is a charge, it should reside on the surface. So charge always reside on the surface. If the charge reside on the surface, there is an electric field which is normal, radially outward for positive charge, and the value is sigma upon epsilon naught. And if you have a conductor, with cavity, again inside the cavity the field is 0, sigma is 0, and the potential is constant, that is V0. So this is what we have about the characteristics, or you can say the property of a conductor. Now how these concepts will be useful to us, we will see in the coming chapters and example. You have to keep this 6 properties for a conductor in mind when we will deal with the intrinsic behavior of a conductor in an electric field intensity. So have a good day.